Well, hi there, everyone, and welcome to the VIP Trade Room with Roger Scott and Matt Horton. Now, today is Wednesday, October 29th, and my name is Raleigh White, and I'm coming to you live from a beautiful, crisp, cool fall day here in Austin, Texas, and I'm going to be your moderator today. Now, in today's session, Roger is going to be covering a range of important topics with a special focus on day trading and the Alpha Zone Pro. The things that he's going to be covering today is why day trading is a smart move in today's current market cycle. He's going to share the several different ways that you can day trade. He's going to talk about trading breakouts, pullbacks, and reversals. Also, why his levels, the morning levels that he gives out each day, can give you an edge when day trading. And then he's going to talk about the Alpha Zone Pro and the triple screen momentum oscillator and which assets that you're going to be trading if you're using the Alpha Zone Pro. Now, if you've got any questions during today's presentation, folks, please type them in the chat window and we'll address them periodically throughout the session so as to not interfere with Roger's presentation. Also, remember, folks, that the chat room is open to everyone, and we do have some ground rules. Always be kind and supportive in your posts. Keep to the topic. No political discussions allowed whatsoever. And please, folks, keep your side conversations to a minimum so that the rest of us can focus on the education and information that Roger is sharing. Because after all, he's here spending time with us to give us an edge in the market and to help us become more confident and consistent in our trading activities. Now, for those of you that were with us this morning for the 8 o'clock Eastern pre-market show with Roger, you'll note that there were several key catalysts that we had on tap. On the technology front, we noted that NVIDIA was up 3%, Seagate was up 6%, and Microsoft was up 2% coming into the markets. In industrials, we noted that Boeing and CAT were both scheduled to release earnings before market open. BMO stands for before market open. On the healthcare front, CNC was up 4%, and RGN was also scheduled to release their earnings before market open. Roger also pointed out that copper is a catalyst today because it's trading at all-time highs on the potential China tariff deal and could have a significant and will have an impact on copper stocks. Also, Asia is a catalyst because both Chinese and Japanese markets were up on Trump tariff meetings and also on continued investment in artificial intelligence. And with regard to Fed, today we have a big FOMC afternoon at 2 o'clock. We have the new rate being released, and everybody expects about a 0.25% cut, and that's going to be followed by the conference at 2:30, and that's where the real news is going to be. The rate cut isn't the news. It's already priced into the market. But the conference is the news because that's where Jerome Powell is going to share his thoughts about what he thinks about the future. He could be talking about the potential cut in December and beyond. We also had crude oil data coming out and pending home sales. Now, for those of you that don't know what a catalyst means or why we report it, is every trading day, what's interesting to us is key information that is known or will be known during the trading session, but is not yet priced into the market. And for those reasons, we have to be cautious around trading stocks that might be involved in a swing either way on that type of news. So that's the background for the catalyst. Now, with regard to Roger's small cap watch list, he gave us 6 tickers today: ERNA, CMBM, PPBT, BAER, BFSA, and JAMF. Now, on these small cap watch lists, folks, Roger is selecting tickers that not only based on price action, but primarily on volume. He's looking at pre-market volume that is going to be significantly greater than what the normal volume is, like 100 times what the normal volume is. Secondly, remember, folks, that small caps are not impacted by the same things that impact large caps because hedge funds, big money, institutions, they're not putting money into small caps. It's only coming from retail investors like ourselves. And also, folks, if you look at these tickers and decide to trade them, only do them during market hours. And if you don't have a fill or an entry before 2 p.m. Eastern time, bag it, forget about it. It's not worth the risk associated with getting in after two. And also, folks, if you are in one of these trades, do not hold them overnight. You're in for a nasty surprise, and nobody wants that to happen to you. So, with that, folks, let's take a look at the small caps and let's see what they've done so far today. Now, looking at my screen here, you can see, let me see if I make sure that I've got that. Yes, I do have that up. Looking at my screen here, you can see that I have 6 charts that are up here for the 6 small cap stocks. Everything is being tracked on a 15-minute bar. Now, up here in the upper left-hand corner, we have ERNA. We noted that $2.37 was the pre-market high. And right here about 9:15 on this 9:15 to 9:30 bar, we can see that prices spiked up above that, rose higher, continue to move higher before falling off. So ERNA ultimately, or ERNA, ended up going up about 21% here. And I consider this to be a winning trade because once you go up 10 to 15%, or even if you pick 20% as your target, that's when you'll move your stops to break even. And as things fell off here, you would have banked profit here before the move lower took you out. So this is a winning trade in our opinion. CMBM, looking at them, the pre-market high was $3, has not even approached that, doesn't look like it will. PPBT, bad boy, okay? Bad boy for us. And you can see why. Right here at the 8:45 to 9 o'clock bar, it jumped right through that $1.35 level, went up to $1.41, which is only 4% before turning right around and moving lower. Not know exactly where you would have put your stops in, but if you had put them in at 10 or 15%, which would have been a good level, you would have been knocked out for a small loss on this particular trade. And it doesn't look like it's going to recover at this point in time. So we did have 2 hits, one successful and one not successful. In the lower left-hand corner, we see BAER. The pre-market high was $2.66, has not come close to that. We have PFSA sitting here. The pre-market high was 53 cents. Once again, not even come close to that. And then we had JMF, which had a lot of noise in pre-market, about 13.65. But look at this, nothing. Talk about a flat line. There you go. So with the small caps, we had 6 trades. We had 2 hits, and one of those was a winner. So let's go back to the normal presentation and let's take a look at what Roger said about the large caps. For the large caps, he identified 10 tickers that were looking good to him, and you can see them all listed here. All right. So I'll pause that for a minute if you want to jot those down. And on the long side, he had 11 tickers. Now, what's interesting about these large cap stocks is, as Roger pointed out, and I'll share with you his closing comments here in a moment, very concerned about how toppy the market is, generally speaking. And from that standpoint, he's a little bit concerned about taking longs, given the fact that he's got expectation as a technical trader that we might be looking at some kind of a retracement in the markets. From that standpoint, from his perspective, he was leaning a little bit towards the shorts, looking pretty good. Bottom line, if you elect to take any of these tickers in your trading, make sure it meets your requirements for going long or short. And also know that when they are on Roger's watch list, what that means is that he's got levels. He's got a setup that he's looking for. And if any one of those stocks, hits those levels, meets those setups, more than likely they're going to show up as trade alerts in the trading pit or on any of the other services that he has where appropriate. So that's the pre-market large cap stock watch list. As far as his pre-market comments are concerned, boy, the mags were leading in extremely overextended markets. The markets were definitely up coming into the open, and the mags were leading. What was interesting here is that the RSP and the QQE were not following the SPY and the QQQ. If you're not sure about what these tickers are, if you take the Magnificent Seven out of the SPY, you get the RSP. All right. And if you take the Mag 7 out of the QQQ, you have the QQQE. Roger contends that since this is the broader market, this is really what's going on. If you look at the few stocks that make up the Mag Seven, which are seven of them, which is driving the marketplace, he says, guys, this is not real. What we're looking at, it's more surreal. He also identified that less than 50% of the S&P stocks are above the 50-day moving average. The number was 47%. So 47% of the 500 S&P stocks, these are big companies, are below the 50-day moving average. Red flag for him. He also noted that the put to call ratio shows that buying continues to take over. And that's a small red flag to him because he's expecting that there's going to be a correction coming and a move back towards puts. But coming into the open, the put to call ratio was swinging back on the call side. He also noted that market internal suggests that a pullback is coming. He basically said, look, in his experience as a technical trader, when you take a look at how toppy some of these things are right now, he's expecting a pullback, and it's not an unhealthy thing. He sees it as being extremely healthy for these to come back a little bit before going higher. And by the way, he also pointed out, because the question was asked, Roger, how far in the future are you looking with this? And he said 6 to 8 hours. So Roger's comments and his visibility and his forecasting is what he thinks is going to happen today. Bottom line, be careful, folks. Roger smells a rat, and please resist fear of missing out. When you see the markets toppy like this, you can get all excited and want to jump in, and he's saying resist that urge. So we've got a great agenda for you today, and we're delighted that you're with us. Roger's going to be focusing on day trading in the Alpha Zone Pro. He's going to share why day trading might be a smart thing in today's current market cycle. He's going to talk about several different ways that you can day trade. He's going to talk about trading breakouts and pullbacks and reversals. He's also going to share why the morning levels that he gives out every morning in his pre-market show can give you an edge when you're looking at day trading the markets. He's then going to talk about the Alpha Zone Pro and the triple screen momentum oscillator and which assets are the best ones to trade using Alpha Zone Pro. And with that, folks, let's welcome the team to the room and let's say happy birthday to Roger. Happy birthday, Roger. Matt, nice to see you, buddy. Hope that you are feeling better. I understand that you're in the process of getting the office set up.
I will be heading there after this.
All right. Sounds great. And Roger, once again, good to see you. Happy birthday. Good news that your mom is successfully out of surgery. So you got a lot of things going for you. What do you
Yes.
think about these markets today? I mean, I thought you had some sage wisdom coming in, which is, guys, I love it when you say that. I smell a rat.
Oh, I smell a rat. Yeah, yeah. I smelled a big fat rat, especially ahead of the Fed when so many things are overextended. I smelled a big fat rat. Look at these semiconductors. Look at these
Yeah.
There were several things, Raleigh, just so you know, there were several things that gave us signals that you could see all the way from the moon. And good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for all the wonderful wishes. I really appreciate it. Like for example, RSP. Look at RSP the last few days. We've seen this before. This is not
Mhm.
the first time we've seen this, okay?
Right.
Look at QQQE. This is the second day it's going down. I couldn't go down. This is already. Meanwhile, you got Max pretending to be Superman here, gapping 4 days in a row. This is just not sustainable. And right now, as we're talking, look what Nvidia's doing.
Yeah.
And we all know what happens when Nvidia does this by now. We've all been the good thing about being here every day, I don't have to like start in the beginning. I think we can all by now I think we can just kind of go like oh
Hmm. Yep.
and I think we can get through the show because I mean we that's the beauty of the way I analyze the market. I analyze everything very, say nothing changes with me.
Very process driven, Roger, and
Mhm.
it's fantastic. You
Well,
start from
thank
the
you.
macro to the micro.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, first off, there was folks, and I want you to know, you don't need to be a stock market genius to see this. Let me just show you this here. You could see it right here. Uh, here, right here. You've got 46% of stocks trading below the 50-day moving
I
average,
know.
and
Yep.
and the stock market's 1.5 standard deviation away from the mean. Come on. I mean, come on. You don't have to be a stock market wizard. What sector is the most over? So let's just kind of look at this. Let's just let's see how easy it is to predict. Okay. People say it's hard to predict what the market's going to do. Okay. There's less than 50% of stocks trading below the 50-day moving average. First red flag. Okay. What sector is the most overextended in the short term? It's not infotech, it's utilities, the most defensive sector. That's the most defensive sector. That's a second red flag right there. This is dividends, folks. Dividend. People don't buy these to make money. They buy these for dividends, okay? That means they're looking at stability. They're not looking at okay, we all know that, right? We know where that's. NASDAQ Composite, 53%. Russell 1000. This is the 1,000 of the. Do you guys want to see the stocks that are in this baby? Let me show you. Let me show you this.
They're household names for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Let me let Mia out real quick. 1 second, please. Go, Mia. Go. I'm so sorry about that. She had to go. Yeah, so you can see right now, actually, 44% of the Russell 1000 is trading above the 44%. Look at these stocks in the Russell 1000. You'll be pretty surprised. You know every one of them. These are every stock that we trade. 90% of what we trade is the Russell 1000. Literally, like 90%. Look at every large cap stock. Every large cap stock that we trade is in here. Literally, every large cap stock. AutoZone, American Express, AVGO. This is not a great look. This is not a great look.
It's pretty eye-opening, as a matter of fact, Roger.
Yeah.
I mean,
and again, look at NVIDIA. I mean, do you think NVIDIA is going to just go from 175 to 205 like this without a major news cap? I mean, come on, before earnings? No. And then you have VIX. VIX has not been going lower today or yesterday, and the market's still open higher. It's going higher, not lower. And we're pretty low to begin with. And I actually think we're going to, I may give a bonus VIX trade today. I don't know. We'll see, maybe after the Fed announcement. But I smell a rat. I smell a big, fat rat. And again, thank you all for such nice wishes. I mean, really nice of you. Very, very kind of you. So anyway, so we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff going on here, and quite honestly, I'm not really liking this. I'm not liking this at all. So in my opinion, this right here, which has been, by the way, we're at the low of the day right now. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, folks, these are my levels that I gave you at 8:45 today. Let me ask you, how have they been working out for you so far?
Oh, I look at that.
What do you think about that, Matt? What do you think about my levels for today?
Pretty good.
Matt doesn't look at my levels. Well, do you look at my levels, Matt?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, I didn't think you did. But look at that. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Look how long we stayed around here. Dropped off. Okay, so this is I gave you this level. That's the high of the day today. Look at these levels. Just saying, okay? For anybody that doesn't trust my levels. I get a rate cut at my birthday. Yeah, you're right, Diamond. That's absolutely right. So yeah.
Never thought of it that way, Roger.
Yeah. Well, she just look at YouTube. She said you get a rate cut for your birthday. That's so funny. But you're right, Diamond Jen. You're right. Look at QQQ. Look at where we're at, folks. Please. I've been doing this for too long to think that the market's just going to go like this with 3 gaps in a row and just continue go. This is just like this, just like that. It just doesn't. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
And that's the fake out, Roger, because a lot of people will look at the SPY and the QQQ and go, man, the markets are zooming. Everything's going great. And I just love the way you strip out the Mag 7 and say, wait a minute, look at the RSP and look at the QQQE. That's the real story.
Absolutely. And one of the reasons why somebody asked a great question, and that's why is the Volt going up and the SPY's going down, which is a really good question. But a good answer for that is because right now we're in the middle of earnings and Fed announcements. There's all sorts of repositioning and realigning right now. Also I want and here's another big reason. Even though the mags have been going straight down and they're at the low of the day right now, as you could see right here. These are our levels, by the way. And I do not touch these. You can just go to your Telegram channel and you can touch these. Uh, but the point here is that this is too much, but we're still up on the day. See, we gapped up so much. We've been gapping up so much in the last few days. That totally distorts market and price action. That's why you got to look at these things with a grain of salt around earnings, big events, when things going on. Remember, we're about to have earnings on here. Why spoil it for you? Let me just show it to you.
Mhm.
Here, you could see it right here. I keep a record of everything because I need to rely on it too. Don't think that I use anything differently than you guys. I mean, look at this. Google, Meta, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. I mean, you have half of the market reporting in the next 24 hours. You can't, folks, I want you guys to understand. You need to understand when the market is trading regularly and when the market's on high alert. Do you notice I'm not trading anything right now? That's because everything is like this. You understand?
It's
This
all
is why we're
jumbled
not.
up. Yeah, yeah.
This is what. So the reason I'm not, because I'm not trusting anything right now, because we're not in a normal environment. Now, the good thing is we're usually in a normal environment, and usually I would look right now. As a matter of fact, if this wasn't Fed and if it wasn't this, I would probably take a day trade to the long side right now. But it's too dangerous right now. There's too much stuff going on. Think about this. How many days do you get when you get Fed lowering rates and you have 5 mega caps reporting in 24 hours? It's too much stuff. Yes, thank you, Kirk. Over $7 trillion of value in mags. So while the tools we rely on, we need to understand also when nothing is working because the market is not trading normally right now. And it's not trading normally because we have huge things happening in the next 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, 5, 6 hours. So you got to know when these things work, and you got to know when these things are just not that accurate.
Agreed.
All right. You got to just know when this is not that accurate. And right now, nothing is accurate. It's not one thing is accurate. I'm not trusting anything because everything is haywired right now. It's like it's like I was watching this movie on HBO. It's a really sad movie. My wife didn't want to watch it with me. It's called Chernobyl. It's a mini series.
Oh my
It's
God.
like 5 episodes. It's amazing movie. I mean, show.
Yeah.
But it's awful. I mean, we all know what happened in Chernobyl. I mean, God, what? Whew. But it's like after the explosion, you still have radiation. It's the same thing with the market. Before the explosion, things go haywire. A little bit afterwards, they go haywire, and then things settle back down to normality. But you gotta use common sense, and you gotta use common logic. And if you don't have common sense, that's okay too. You got me, and I'll be waving that flag and telling you guys we got Fed data today. Don't trade till 2:30, or just take very small position size. Or this is not a time to make decisions right now, or internals are not working. I might have even made a comment. I'm not sure, but I might have even made a comment when Matt is that I don't like this market or whatever, but I don't trust this market right now. You know how Cyrus all the time says it's a fake market?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't agree with, I never agree with him on that because I don't think the market's, because even if it's a fake market, that's the market that we have. So we just have to learn to trade a fake market. But like days like today and tomorrow, it is a fake market. We just don't, there's a mirage going on and we really can't see what's really happening. Okay. And if you guys don't understand that, you're dealing with randomness. It's like trying to figure out what a stock is going to do the day of earnings. We just don't engage. So right now, nothing is working the way it's supposed to. Nothing is here's the best part. Usually you can make heads or tails out of the things that I say, but on days like this, it's all like every man for himself. The market is just kind of gyrating in randomness. And if you try to if you try to use the things I've taught you or things that you believe are true, you're going to be disappointed because probabilities are not, because you can't make heads or tails out of randomness. And our mind is designed to do that. Okay. It's designed to do that. We are designed to avoid pain. Our mind is designed to avoid pain and see patterns. That's the worst thing for a stock market investor in the world. Write down what I just said. Our mind is designed to avoid pain. We will do anything to avoid pain, okay? Our mind, subconsciously. And our mind sees patterns. And we can't change it. We can't do anything about it. All we can do is understand it. So that when we get a cognitive dissonance, yes, I'm using fancy words, we could see it at least and say, this is I can't control myself, but I understand what's happening with me at least. That's the first sign. That's the first sign. If you're not there yet, then you'll have that. You'll have that moment of clarity one time. I promise you. And for those of you that don't know what cognitive dissonance means, it's like if you have a doctor who, a lung surgeon, okay, who specializes in cancer, okay, but he smokes 2 packs a day. That's cognitive dissonance. He knows it's wrong, but he can't help himself. But he knows that's the first sign. So even if you can't control yourself, at least start understanding when you catch yourself in those moments, okay? Catch yourself.
But you should know better.
Yeah, the more
Exactly.
cognitive, even if you can't control yourself, catch yourself and say, "Oh, Roger's telling me this is not going to help me, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's going to make me feel better." But at least catch yourself. The more of these cognitive dissonances you have, you will get better with time. You have to recognize them first. Okay? I just gave you guys a really good lesson, by the way, just so you know. Okay? Yes, horrible day for impulse trader. That's right. Okay. Meta is also cutting jobs. Jeez. Whew. Yes. Thank you, Matthew. I'm not pretending to be a psychiatrist. These are like very, very basic, terms that people use. But the smoke, yeah, old cardi, yeah. But they know it's wrong, but they just can't help themselves. And I know we have a lot of people that are doing that too. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about day trading today, but before I do talk about day trading, let me give you guys stocks that I'm looking at right now. We do have a little time, and I do want to give you these stocks. I haven't given them to you the last couple of days, and I need to give you some watch list stocks because some of you folks need a red meat. By the way, look at how well mega caps are holding on to the lows of our levels and the highs. It's pretty darn impressive. Okay, so let me start off with the stocks, okay? Actually, I just want to take a look at another one that just came on my list. HR Bell. Yeah, a little extended here. Okay. Moss. Nice looking short. Okay. GEN. We don't need this right now. GEN. Nice looking short. Just focus here. This is the daily chart. Nice looking short. KMB. If you're looking at earnings, the earnings date is right here. Okay. You see that? It's right there if you want to see the earnings date. He was on oxygen. My grandfather, he died of cancer. The doctor told him at 70, he smoked since he was 9 years old. And when he smoked cigarettes, he smoked them like this. The doctor told him at 69, you're going to get cancer if you don't smoke. Like, you will get cancer next year or two. He got cancer. He would beg our next door neighbor to go buy him cigarettes on the down low so grandma wouldn't catch him smoking. And he would smoke them in the garage, in the parking lot. Yeah, he died at 70. But anyways, that was 1992. So I know how addiction can be. It's a terrible thing. And I'm sure I'm not the only one with these stories. PGR, nice downside look. A lot of people can't control themselves on certain things. It's part of life. PGR, KMB, Nice grinder. Now, when you're not 100% sure, sometimes these grinders can work really well. You don't want to day trade this, but you see how it's coming near the 8-day? It just keeps bouncing off the 8-day. Getting near the 8-day, assuming it's weak near there on a 5-minute, is not a bad idea. Hey, William, how are you? Okay. SPGI. Nice round area coming down here, bouncing off the VWAP right here. It's a nice short. TYL. Nice downtrend, consolidating. Looks like it wants to come down again. This is the reason why it hasn't been really a good time to short for the last month or so. And I haven't been, because we've been just kind of sideways on the short side, but it looks like it's finally starting to come down. TYL, CMCSA. That is a very nice looking short. I'm actually going to circle that. I like that quite a bit. That is a very nice, that's a very attractive. Richard, make a note of this. Oh, earnings tomorrow. Joy. Let's cross this off. Earnings tomorrow. T-Mobile. That's a nice, nice looking short too. I'm going to circle that one too. My mom is doing much better. Thank you for asking. I visited her yesterday, right after we were done here, actually. I was surprised to see that she had some color. My mom and my dad and my wife saw her the day before. They went to the hospital at night, and they said she had no color. And she had color. She's walking. I don't know why they make them walk, but I guess there's obviously a reason. They know better than I do. But they're forced to walk. They're giving her some oxycodone, and she's in really bad pain, but it's tolerable. He said about 6 to 8 weeks for recovery. Yeah, blood. Yeah. Right. So she's doing well. Blood clots. Thank you. See, don't ever ask me medical advice, because my medical advice is going to be retarded. Okay. Stocks, I can help you with. Doctor stuff, hell, I can understand legal questions and financial questions. That's where yeah, longer than that. Yeah, careful on Timo. Knee surgery. It was neither. It was back surgery. They put cement in her back. They fused like 4 vertebrae or something like that. Folks, I don't know anything about. Like, I am the worst guy to ask. But I'm going to see her today, right after like 3:30, right after the whole Fed fiasco's over. I'm going to go visit her. I like the stock a lot right now. T-Mobile. I'm going to put a little star next to it. Hey, Matt, pay attention to, bless you, to pay attention to this T-Mobile. We may have something there. MSTR. Again, earnings tomorrow. Man, I just can't get a break. Blocked and that's the other thing. Earnings this week, folks. Earnings this week. It's terrible. Texas Instrument, that is a beautiful looking short. And think about this. Now think about this, folks. Let me put a little, whisper something into your ear right now. Okay. Think about this right now. Look at SMH. Look how overextended SMH is. Mm-hmm. I'm about 99% sure that over the next few days, this is going to start coming off and getting back to the range. Currently, as far as I could see, and I didn't do extensive forensic accounting, but most of these stocks, chip stocks, are making new highs or at new highs. You name them and you'll see them. Look at this stock. It continues
Texas Instruments, yeah.
It's continuing to make a lower low as chip stocks are making up. What do you think is going to happen with this stock when SMH decides to come off and come down to here? You think all of a sudden people are going to start putting money into this chip stock?
Nope.
It doesn't work that way. It's going to drop even further. That's a good short right now. I'm going to circle this. The only way this would not work would be if both the stock and the sector decided to stay up. I don't know about that. This really hasn't been doing great for a long time, and earnings are not for earnings. I think we're right here. It was down on earnings. Even better, it was down on earnings. Let's see, Omar, if I have the same problem you do. How you doing, Omar? Good to see you here. Yep, I think I have the same problem as you do, Omar. I had no problem this morning, but it doesn't seem to be opening right now. Maybe the government didn't pay their AWS bill. Hey, Richard, I was just saying how Texas Instrument. I found a couple of good-looking stocks, Comcast and T-Mobile, and I found out that they both have earnings tomorrow. But Texas Instrument looks really good. I'm just bringing you up to speed. Texas may have U.S. contact while U.S. has some dividends. Thanks, FTW. FLO, Flow. That's a beauty right there. That is a beautiful short. This may be a good day trade right there. That's a nice looking short.
Can you blow those up, Roger?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Much better. There
Okay,
you go.
so sorry about that. I specifically want you to focus on this chart here, not this one, but this one right here. And it's not overextended yet. It's not on this side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, let's now do our longs. We're actually doing good on time right now. I really like this stock a lot. And let's see. I really like the stock a lot. That's all I'm going to say. I missed my entry today. I'm going to set an alert at the VWAP. I'm hoping I can get it on a pullback when the Fed starts opening their mouth. I really like the stock. That's all I'm going to say. I really like the stock a lot. Okay? A lot. NTRA, I really like this stock a lot. Okay? I added it to my watch list twice today in the VIP room. I mean, in the morning, in the pit. APH is looking still pretty good. Getting a little overextended, but not too bad. UEC, this stock looks beautiful right now. Very, very nice looking stock. Not expensive either, and has plenty of upside. Let me see something. This stock, APLD, I like this stock right here. See how it's just riding the 8-day EMA? I gave it as a day trade in the pit yesterday, and we made a good profit real quick. But it's still looking good. If you want to swing it, you've got plenty of room. You got till about 38, 39, about 39, 38, high 38s, low 39s. And it's riding the 8-day right here. Okay. Nice, Cyrus. Good for you. Ralph just took some profit. Good, good, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good, 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 good. I like how folks are, and what I like is I'm looking at the chat and everybody seems to be on the same page, and I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like when everybody's on the same page. Tiva. Some of these stocks are still looking really good. Tiva's looking pretty good. CNC. Does anybody remember this stock from last night? Raleigh, I gave this stock as a time spread,
right?
A time spread. Yeah. And it's kind of funny. Either folks did not get filled, and I did not get filled either, by the way. Either folks did not get filled, or they got filled at a really good price and they made out like bandits. It was the weirdest thing. It was like 10%, 90% didn't get filled. 10% got filled and did really, really well as well.
Yeah, I mean, the fill prices were like, one guy said 14, which is incredible, all the way up to 23, you know.
And then another person got 20.
Yeah.
And then another person got 21. Yeah, I did not get filled. I was placing it at 22, and I did not get filled. So, but the ones that got filled did really well, and they could have got out at 25 and 28 today. Yeah, I didn't get filled either. Yeah, I mean, what can I tell you? But what I do want to tell you is it's setting up as a long right now. The stock is setting up as a long right now, and it's almost in the gap too. Now that I think about it. What they do discuss, I discuss them all the time. Yeah. But nobody lost on CNC, Raleigh. That was the case. Nobody lost money on it.
Yeah, if they got filled, they didn't lose. Yeah.
No. They got filled, they did well. I think this one is having earnings either now or after my birth or after tonight. I mean,
That's
not in the
correct.
morning, but yeah. So I would just stay away from this one here. CBS, TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. That is a beautiful looking stock. Beautiful. I would be very cautious with chips right now because, well, you know why, but it's a very nice looking stock. It's a very nice looking stock. And by the way, this is a very, 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 very important company to the industry, for the industry. Jason says NVIDIA made $480. Good for you. Eduardo says 14 cents yesterday. See, Eduardo got filled at 14 cents. I don't know how you did it, Eduardo, but that's fantastic, my friend. Then you must have been very happy this morning when you got out. Yeah. Intel still looks good. So the chip stocks that I really like right now are Taiwan Semiconductor and Intel. The chip stocks that I'm really bearish on right now is Texas Instrument, which has god-awful price action today. I mean, just god-awful price action today. Let me just see what the SPY's doing real quick. Okay, SPY's coming off the low. Look at this, guys. My levels from this morning. Look at that and look at that. I mean, what else do you need, huh? Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate it. MO501. I do sessions on it all the time, and I'll do another session on it. And I do them all the time in the pit as bonus trades. Yeah, U.S. economy doesn't work. I got a blank page. Let me just check something here. Yeah, let me just let you know that I also like GE for a long side. I also like GE for the long side. Okay. So let me answer. That's okay, Max. Thank you so much. Will you show us how to trade these levels? Yeah, I'm going to give those examples. I'm going to talk about it right now. Okay, actually. So a few things that I need you guys to understand. Okay, there is two ways to trade stocks. Now, everything we're talking about right now, I just want to give you guys some context. Everything we just talked about applies to the daily chart, okay? I'm just going to open up my door a little bit, let some air in. Just give me 30. If I hear my dogs yelling, I'm going to close the door real quick because you guys will hear them and it'll be awful. So, and I think this is the last day. If Matt does his job today, by the way, how are you feeling, Matt?
Pretty good.
You don't sound like you have a little what?
A little sniffle still, but pretty good. It's like a one-day cold.
Got it. Okay. All right. So you'll take care of all the office stuff today, make sure everything works, and tomorrow we'll move everything to the office. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, folks, when you're day trading, now we're talking about day trading, and we're talking about these levels. Okay. So, when you're trading stocks, day trading stocks, you don't want to use these levels. Okay. You don't use these levels. Notice Pro Trader dashboard, it has its own levels. Okay. So the only time you want to use these levels if you're day trading indexes. Now, you may or may not have noticed when I draw these levels in the morning, what do I draw them on? I draw them on the SPY. I draw them on the QQQ. I draw them on the Russell 2000. I draw them on, I don't draw them on individual stocks, right? Right. There's a reason for it. Okay, now, why do I not draw them on individual stocks? Because individual stocks only have two ways to execute trades: breakouts and pullbacks. Indexes, you could trade breakouts, pullbacks, and reversals. Okay? We don't day trade reversals on stocks. We day trade reversals on indexes. As a matter of fact, one of the most frequent ways we trade on indexes is reversals. Like taking a trade right here would be a reversal all the way up here. Okay. Why don't you day trade reversals on stocks? Because stocks, for the most part, are random. And it's very, very hard to gain an edge on a stock with reversals because you're dealing with random trading action. With stocks, the best way to gauge stocks is using relative strength. Hence, notice Pro Trader Dashboard does not have a way to trade reversals, only breakouts. The best way to trade, and you could do pullbacks to the VWAP. It has that too. So the only way we want to day trade stocks is a breakout or so here, let me draw this for you. Draw this for you. Okay. So when you're trading stocks, this is a stock, that's a stock, each one of these represents a price. And all of a sudden you break out right here. Okay, that's a breakout. You look to the left right here and you don't see anything here. It's a breakout, okay? Price breakout. Okay. A pullback is when it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, and it pulls back, and then you get in right here on a pullback. A reversal is this. Okay? So when you're looking to trade Microsoft or NVIDIA, you don't take any short trades right now because you're above all the key averages, right? Here, look. Look at the daily chart. You're above the 8-day. You're only trading one way. If you want to trade short, you got to wait for Microsoft to trade below the American flag. And the American flag here. Let me pull up the American flag for you so you could see it. Here. If you want to trade Microsoft short, you got to wait till Microsoft is all the way down here. When it's below the 50, the 100, and the 200, then you could trade Microsoft. Until then, you can't. So you can only trade one way. Why? Because, again, stocks are mostly random. Indexes, which are what we're talking about today, you could trade like this with a breakout, with a pullback, or revert like this, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay. How do my levels come into all of that? How do my levels come into all of that? So I first had to show you this, right? Because you have to understand the different positionings you could take. And by the way, when I talk about pullbacks to the downside too. When I talk about breakouts, I'm talking about breakouts to the downside too. When I talk about reversals, we're talking about taking shorts right here, and we're talking about taking longs right here. Just want to make sure you guys understand what, kind of what I'm going here. And I'm trying to keep this really, really basic. Okay, really basic. And everything we're talking about here, you could be talking about anywhere from a 1-minute chart to a 5-minute chart. Okay. Richard likes to use the 2-minute HA. Matt likes to use the 1-minute regular candlestick. Matt, but you're also starting to use the 2-minute too, right?
Yeah, I'm using them both.
Okay, and I like to use the 5-minute for everything. But I probably should use the 2-minute HA, and I've added it to my, especially when we're scalping, not stocks, but indexes. For stocks, I would never go below 5 minutes. But for here, one second. Okay. Let me just go back. Let me just stay here for a minute. So,
yeah, Roger, looking at that chart there, a comment just came up. Tim says, is a pullback defined as back to the VWAP?
Yes, or to a key level. That's actually what I'm going to talk about that right now.
Good for it. Good spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'm actually about to talk about it. I just need to find my my levels here. Here, let me close this up. Let me close this. Let me just turn it back on. I put too much stuff on my TC2000. Now all my windows are messed up, so I'm just going to restart it again real quick. The beautiful part, it takes probably 5 seconds to start up again. There we go. All right. This thing is so fast. You don't even need a fast computer to use this, which is why I use it at home. I need to get a new computer. Okay. There we go. My last layout. Okay, so my levels were here. Okay. So just get the spot. Okay. Okay, here we go. So these are the levels that I drew for you guys, okay? Hey, but Gordon, how about we focus on what I'm teaching you so we don't confuse anybody here, Gordon? What do you think about that? Let's not throw a wrench into what we're doing right now. We got a lot of people who are vulnerable. You're going to start talking about 512T. People are going to be like, well, what's 512T? And they're going to get off the topic. I want to keep them focused on the topic, okay? HA stands for Hakanachi. These are Hakanachis right here. Right here. Anything I draw here appears here, okay? See, I added this because I know Richard uses them, so I decided to add them in so we can keep track of my levels and the HA clouds.
And you had a good session on that 2 days ago, Roger. It was back in the Monday VIP room for people that are interested.
Perfect. So now let's talk about the other question, pullbacks defined by the VWAP. Well, when we're trading stocks, the pullback is always defined by the VWAP, okay? But when we're trading the SPY, the QQQ, the MAGs, the SMH, or any other index, that stuff that I give you levels for every morning, it doesn't have to be a VWAP. So let me show you. I'm going to show you right now. So you see these levels, right? You see these levels. Okay. So we gap up, right? We gap up. We come down here. Then from 6 in the morning, we trend all the way pre-market and then again down, and then we come back up, okay? So the trend is going down right now. We've been in a downtrend since 10 in the morning. We made an all-time high at 10 a.m. and we've been going straight down, okay? Now, I would have loved to have given you this example. I would have loved to given you this example on the way up, but unfortunately I can't because the cards are to the short side. So I'm going to show you right now how to use pullbacks. So we made a high. We're now going down. We've established a downtrend by the time we're down here, okay? So you see how my level's right there? Now I'm waiting for a pullback to the VWAP or up to this level. Look what I got. A little higher than the VWAP, a little bit below this level, right? Okay. So I would enter right here. You know where I would take profit? On this level. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Then we look like we bottomed out right here, right? I would take a reversal trade and I would use this level to get out of half of my trade, and I would use this level to get out another part of my trade, and then I would use this level to get out of the rest of my trade. I would use these levels to scale my positions. Mm-hmm. So when I'm day trading the SPY or the QQQ here or QQQ, I'm using these levels to key off of. What is the difference between keying off and using pullbacks? I'm using these to add positions, take away positions, using them as stop loss levels, as profit targets. I'm using these levels to key off. I'm using these levels to see if something interesting happens. So for example, let's say I started going short here, okay? Right here would be my entry. Look where the VWAP is. And by the way, this level was drawn at 8:30 in the morning today, as you all know, because I did it live in front of all of you here. And then posted it for you with a timestamp. You see how we came up to this level? So you see how the VWAP happens to be right at this level? That means that level has much more value. Laura says, now I get it. You're super clear. Thank you, Roger. You're welcome. There you go, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the best dinner is when my wife cooks at home. I'm having pork chops tonight. Too bad my mom can't come, but the rest of my family will be there. So you see, we're in a downtrend. Okay, do we want to enter on a breakdown? This would be a breakdown right here. No, we want to wait on a pullback. The pullback is right near, our level is right near the VWAP. That level becomes more valuable. Do you remember I told you Alpha Zone Pro, which we're going to get into in just a few minutes, how I told you how we use those levels? We look for reversals around key levels. Well, here we look for, these are secondary levels, and you can add these to Alpha Zone Pro.
Right.
Richard adds them to Alpha Zone Pro, and then you have more levels to key off of. For example, you'll find that some of these levels are very, very close. They're very, 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 very close to the existing levels in Alpha Zone Pro. Just like the VWAP is right here. That means that level becomes a lot more valuable. You will find that there are levels that are used, you can use them as scalp targets or levels to see if we pass that level. But you use these as key off levels. For stocks, you would not use these. You would just use the VWAP and you would look for boring pullbacks to the VWAP. But remember, indexes do this all day long. There's way, way, way too many stocks in the index. So what I wanted you to get out of this session was, when you're trading stocks, you're basically doing this here. Let me clean this up for you here. Is this being helpful to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Let me know.
Extremely, Roger.
Okay, when you're trading stocks, you only have two plays. Oh, we're breaking out. Here, Tesla 2 days ago was a beautiful example. When we took the Tesla trade right here. See how Tesla started breaking out? I told you this. We were in this together, all of us. I told you Tesla's breaking out. I didn't just give you a day trade. I said you can hold on to it. It's a great swing trade because Tesla's breaking out. Well, there's a breakout. Here's the consolidation. Here's your consolidation, and here's your breakout right there. Okay? It's breaking out of this area. That's why I gave you that trade, even though I held it for 2 minutes or whatnot. Beautiful trade, right? And I told you it's a great swing trade. Okay. So, hold on. My dogs are... No, they stopped. They stopped. So you got a breakout using daily charts, and then you switch to 5 minutes, and then you look for pullbacks to the VWAP, okay? This is the VWAP right here. Pull back to the VWAP, and then you buy right here, okay? Or you buy the break. Hold on, I'm going to close the door. Okay. Now, yeah, Picasso, right? With indexes, it doesn't work that way. Indexes do this. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They don't just do this or this. Indexes do this. So the way we trade them is with levels. You're about to see a presentation about how to use the Pro Trader dashboard. Alpha Zone Pro, and you'll see that we key off of levels. So for Alpha Zone Pro, we need 3 things to happen. So let me just show you. So for Alpha Zone Pro, you've got 3 levels here. You've got 3 levels here. And then you got price here, right?
Yep.
Alpha Zone Pro, 3 things need to happen. Price needs to... First thing happens is price needs to reach one of these levels, right? Yes, futures is... Everything I'm explaining was designed on futures. So price has to come to one of these levels. Then, if you're trading here, price has to make a 20-bar low. It's got to make 20-bar low, and it has to be a reversal bar. And then we key off of these levels. Okay? And you have the oscillator here confirming you. So you've got 3 things happening. My levels, you can add my levels to this, and you can use them to take profit, to add a position, to add a stop loss if it goes against that level, or as a support to add another position. So you're using these levels, existing levels in AlphaZone Pro, and AlphaZone Pro will give you an entry and an exit, but you can use my levels to add, like Richard does. He adds my levels, and then he can key off of those levels. Okay, really, really important. Let me just check something here. Man, I just can't catch a break. I want to enter that GLW off the VWAP, but doesn't seem to want to give me an entry. I think the best thing for us to do is just to wait. Till FOMC comes out. Meanwhile, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a very, very cool class. Haven't done this in about a month or so, maybe even more. And this class will solidify and give you a lot more detail into how we use AlphaZone Pro. Richard uses AlphaZone Pro. I believe Omar uses, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Omar uses AlphaZone Pro. And I know Bugs religiously uses AlphaZone Pro. The AlphaZone Pro has become the most go-to tool that we have. Let me just unshare my screen and share it again. And I highly recommend you pay attention to this class right now, because it will give you a lot of insight into how I use these levels. It'll show you examples. Every trade, they're not based on pivot points. They're based on overnight. I'll explain to you what these levels are based on. I'll explain to you what my levels are based on. The point is, all of this will help you generate alpha. I've been getting nothing but like the feedback I've been getting with AlphaZone Pro is, Roger, you really, really look what Richard just says. Break out the notepad and pay attention. Okay? And pay attention. I'm going to close the chat right now. Okay? I actually had it open this whole time, but Raleigh's going to be very upset. So I'm going to close the chat. And AlphaZone Pro is a platform that I sell that you put on. See, it gives you arrows, buy and sell arrows. It tells you everything you need. But what I'm trying to do is show you how to use my morning levels in conjunction with AlphaZone Pro. You don't need AlphaZone Pro to use my morning levels, but it becomes very, very dangerous, because here you have implied volatility levels, you have volume levels, you have market makers levels, and then you have my levels. And together, they are a gold mine. So I'm going to show you several trades right now. What we do need to do is we need to have everybody on YouTube. We have how many people on YouTube? We got about 91 people on YouTube. We need you guys to move into the Zoom room. Please move into the Zoom room. I'm going to be starting right now. Okay? All right. Okay, there's a recording in progress. Okay, there we go. Folks, please pay attention. This will really help you take your trading to a whole new level. And I'll show you at the end how you could do this with a very, very small account and day trade without having $25,000 in your account. I'll show you how to do that, but you got to wait till the end.